So I've got great news for you. We're through 3 out of the 4 market structures that we need to learn for this class. So we are more than halfway through. Of course, normally there's great news and there's not so great news. The not so great news is that to really understand what's happening with oligopolies, we have to, and I mean, I guess some of you may be happy with this, but we have to depart from the diagrammatic representations that we were using before. Right? Before, our price and quantity situation, right, with the cost curves and the demand curves, we have to depart from that and think about things in a completely new kind of way. So it's nice because it's something different, but it's also a little frustrating because it's something different. But we're just going to take it at its very basic level. Most students talk about how much they very much enjoyed learning about oligopolies and specifically about game theory, which we're going to get into in a second. Maybe it's just because the word game is in there and we all like games, but I think it's also just because it helps you to see how our decisions are interconnected and the results of those decisions are also interconnected. So anyways, that's a lot of talking without writing, and when I don't write, you all don't write, so let's write some stuff down. So oligopoly is when a small number of firms have most or all the sales in an industry. And the important part of oligopolies is there are some competing dynamics. So if the oligopolists compete with each other very aggressively, the result of that is that they then act similar to perfect competitors, in that they are driving down costs and their dynamics are leading to zero economic profits, not accounting, for all firms involved. So if they compete aggressively with each other, they act like perfect competitors. If oligopolists collude with each other, they may act like a monopoly and succeed in pushing up prices and earning consistently high levels of profits. So this term collusion, right, which used to be an arcane economic term until, the last 7 years or whatever, right, has made its way into the popular zeitgeist through our political discourse. But our term collusion, when we talk about economics, is specifically about firms acting together. Again, we got to get this in your notes.
I just now searched that up too.
What?
I said I just now searched that up.
Collusion? Yeah.
Yeah, because I thought
because we've heard about it, but it's like, what is it actually? You know what I mean? Like
I thought it was like them colliding, like coming together, but it's
I mean, it is them coming together, but specifically, it's when firms act together to not necessarily even deceive, just to reduce output, right? So, you know, if we think about OPEC, the oil producing and exporting countries of the world, right? They're a cartel. They collude. They don't deceive everybody. They tell everybody straight up, we're lowering production. We're lowering the number of oils that we're producing this month to drive the prices up. So it's when they act together to reduce output in order to to keep prices high and keep that abnormal economic profit.
Well, they could do that, right?
Well, they can't internationally because it's not, you know, international. Like the biggest joke in law is international law, right? Like there's no international court. So yeah, they can do it internationally, but it's illegal in the United States. You know, if you know, let's say one of the coffee shops in town, if they got together with the other coffee shop owners and said, hey, let's all increase the price of our small lattes to $8. Like if we all do it together, they can't protest. You know what I mean? That would be collusion.
I think that's how it is at the student center.
So they do this. So they do this by, you know, they hold down the industry output, they charge a higher price, and then they divide the profit amongst themselves. And so when we have a particular organization that participates in collusion, we call them cartels. Right? The most notorious cartels are, you know, the Mexican, Central American drug cartels and stuff like that, right? But it applies to both